Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 6, entitled as Dhyana Yoga, Sloka 35 and 36. Śrī-bhagavān uvāca asaṁśayaṁ mahā-bāho mano durnigrahaṁ calam abhyāsena tu kaunteya vairāgyeṇa gṛhyate asaṁyatātmanā yogo duṣprāpa iti me matiḥ vaśyātmanā tu yatatā śakyo vāptum upāyataḥ. The monkey is taken as an example because our mind is so. It jumps from one place to another place to another place to another place. It's not stable, it's not steady. So our mind is 100 times, even 1000 times unsteady, crazier than a crazy monkey. So it requires serious training by repeatedly telling the greatness of Atma, greatness of Paramatma, repeatedly contemplating on the virtues of the self, the qualities of the self in terms of its being eternal, is of the form of knowledge and bliss, is beyond the clutches of karma, is pure without any faults. These are the greatness of Atma. By repeatedly contemplating on these virtues, one's interest will increase to focus on Atma. And the second point has to be applied as well, that is vairāgyeṇa, that is detachment or desirelessness. This is another contemplation that one has to do. The first contemplation is abhyāsena, practice. Practicing by repeatedly contemplating on the Atma, by seeing the greatness of Atma, and detachment, vairāgyeṇa, by contemplating on the evils in the material entities, the faults in the material things, material objects that that the mind wants to go and enjoy. So Srila Prabhupada addresses these both, practice and detachment, through one easy process. First he asks a question, what is that practice? Because Krishna says abhyāsena, practice. And Prabhupada goes into the explanation of what that practice is in current age. For one to observe the strict rules and regulation of placing oneself in that situation and focusing the mind, restraining the mind and senses, etc., is not an easy program. But by the practice of Krishna consciousness, however one engages in devotional service, any one of the devotional service to Krishna, that will help them both in practice and detachment. And the first and foremost of such practice, engagement, is to start hearing about Krishna. This is considered to be a very powerful method, transcendental method, to control the mind and remove all the misgivings that created by the mind. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from material things and fixes oneself into Krishna. By detaching the mind from activities not devoted to Krishna, one can easily learn vairāgya. But if one does not do that, asaṁyatātmanā, if these two means are not practiced, abhyāsa and vairāgya, however strong a person may be, his mind will take over this person. Then he can never attain the yoga of equal vision. Me matiḥ, that is my viewpoint or opinion. Krishna says this. Only he who has subdued his mind by means of the practice of yoga in this way will easily attain the yoga of form of equal vision. So the mind can only be controlled through some action. Actions mean karma. Karma inclusive of knowledge, that is jnana. This is stated earlier. It must be done with no desire for the fruits, and the focus should be on the form of the Supreme Lord. Through the karma performed in this manner, the Lord who is pleased, He forgives all our sins, destroys the qualities of rajas and tamas that's within us, and helps us to turn the mind towards Atma. In this way, the mind is fully controlled. One last question that needs to be addressed from this sloka is, earlier we saw that the mind is brought into control through practice of karma yoga. Now it says the mind is controlled by abhyasa, practice, and detachment. So which one is correct and which one to be followed? The answer is, the principal means to control the mind is through action, karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga. That's the only mean. Practice and detachments are angas, meaning constituents of the work, karma yoga. Therefore, the karma yoga performed with detachment and regular practice is the means to control the mind. It's not this one or that one. It is together as to be performed. A concluding point. We all have to first accept that we are diseased. The disease is the attachment and hatred which is caused by our mind. Disease is where we are unable to control our mind. So we need to give treatment to our mind first. Treatment means medicine and proper diet. Krishna has given those things over here by practicing abhyāsana and vairāgyeṇa, by detachment. This is easily achieved by hearing of the transcendental activities of Krishna. That's an expert treatment for our mad mind. And the diet is eating foodstuff that's offered to Krishna. That's the appropriate diet for the suffering patient. Without doing this and trying to practice yoga, trying to control the mind, while the mind is still wanting of material enjoyment, is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Therefore, one must control the mind, engaging it constantly in the service, in the loving service of the Lord. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. Asaṁśayaṁ mahā-bāho mano durnigrahaṁ calam abhyāsena tu kaunteya vairāgyeṇa ca gṛhyate asaṁyatātmanā yogo duṣprāpa iti me matiḥ vaśyātmanā tu yatatā śakyo vāptum upāyataḥ. Namaste. Hare Krishna.